Today, I'll show you how one Sichuan flavor can bring out two completely different sides of chicken. They come from chicken, but their textures are completely different. Before adding flavor, Chinese cooking first prepares the ingredient for what comes next. I'm Mason, and here we don't start with a recipe, we start by understanding the ingredient. We will see how the same flavor foundation creates two completely different results from the same ingredient. When we cook chicken, most people think about seasoning first. But to me, there's a more important question. What does this ingredient actually need? This ingredient has already been frozen and stored before it reached the kitchen. After thawing, it often carries extra moisture and some unwanted flavors. So before adding flavor, we first prepare the ingredient itself. These ingredients are not here to season the meat. They are not here to add flavor. They are here to remove unwanted smells before cooking. But cleaning is only the first step. Before seasoning, we also need to control the surface moisture. Too much surface moisture keeps the seasoning from sticking and absorbing properly. But not every ingredient needs the same treatment. This chilled chicken thigh hasn't gone through the same freezing process, and it doesn't have the same issues as many bone cuts. Instead of cleaning the ingredient, our goal is to preserve its natural flavor and texture. Once we understand the ingredient, seasoning finally begins. These two ingredients start from the same flavor foundation, but they will create two completely different experiences. Many people think every dish starts with a different recipe, but Chinese cooking isn't always about creating more recipes. A good flavor foundation isn't about adding more ingredients, it's about knowing the purpose of each one. We are not just adding ingredients, we are creating balance. I'll put the full recipe and the measurements at the end of the video. Resting time allows the flavor to develop and move deeper into the ingredient. After the flavor foundation is built, the next step is transformation through heat. After 8 minutes, I flip them to make sure both sides cook evenly. Roasting isn't about simply applying high heat, it's about controlling the transformation. High heat changes the texture, but the ingredient decides the final result. The roasting step isn't the final cooking stage. It prepares the ingredients for the final transformation in the wok. In many Western kitchens, ovens are part of everyday cooking. But in many Chinese homes, the wok is the heart of the kitchen. A wok creates intense heat quickly and allows many different cooking techniques. Before high heat meets the spices, we need to prepare them properly. Dried chili and Sichuan pepper can burn quickly when they directly contact hot oil. Soaking helps them release the aroma more evenly and creates a smoother heat. This is a small detail that makes a big difference. Remove excess water before the spices hit the wok. Water and hot oil create uncontrolled splattering. The goal is not just the heat. It's about controlling heat to build aroma. Now the ingredient meets the final layer of flavor. The final seasoning isn't about adding more flavors, but balancing the existing ones. We are not adding ingredients randomly. We are building 4 layers of flavor. The final texture is created at this moment. The heat transforms the same flavor foundation into different experiences. This is why I love Chinese cooking. The technique works with the ingredient, not against it. The same foundation creates another expression with a different ingredient. The crisp texture comes from the ingredient itself. The tenderness comes from how the chicken holds its moisture. Technique gets the ingredient, but the ingredient tells the final story. A recipe tells you what to add. Understanding flavor tells you why.